Hi,
Hey,
Akiane, how are you?
good, thank you. So, is the connection okay?
Yeah, it's actually perfect. I've been Skyping with quite a lot of people, but the connection was sometimes interrupting, but with you it's perfect.
Oh, fantastic. Well, it's nice to see you finally. It's
Yeah,
not,
it's nice to meet you.
do you see Angelia? Angelia, how do you pronounce your name?
Angelia,
Angelia. It's
yes.
very pretty. Very
Thank
pretty.
you very much. I do apologize. I have a bit of a cold at the moment, so I'm gonna do my best to not be
Oh,
annoying.
take your time. Honestly, like, totally understandable.
Brilliant, brilliant. So, Akiana, I'm so excited to have you here at the Happy Conscious Living magazine, and we're going to feature you in an interview there. But I'm also recording this on video, so is that okay with you?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Thank
Okay.
you, and it's actually an honor. So I wanted to let you know that thank you for
Thank
letting
you
me
so
be part of
much.
this.
Thank you so much. No, it's a real pleasure to have you on board here. Um, what I really would like to ask you is because some people might not know you on our magazine, if you could just briefly introduce yourself and where you're coming from. Because I've been following you for the past couple of years, so I know that you're a visionary artist. You've been featured on so many different shows, including the Oprah Winfrey Show, and there are so many beautiful paintings that you've painted throughout your life at such a young age. And um, why don't you take it from there?
Absolutely, and my life almost starts way back in 1994 when I was born, and I grew up in a very supportive family, but at the same time, we weren't very financially well in the life. We were very poor, and it took my parents were very hardworking, and I was born with a Lithuanian mother and an American father. And roughly around 4 years of age, I started experiencing very vivid dreams and visions. And they weren't your typical dreams and visions. There were dreams, visions of people's lives, of the past, of the future. And it was so new to me because I did not grow up with any books or television or radio. It was something just extraordinary, but at the same time, I was very curious about it itself. So what I did, I took anything what I had on hand, whether it was pencils, pastels, food, charcoal, or anything I
Food.
could get my hand on, and I would start to project and to draw whatever I saw. And then from that point on, I think my mom started to notice there was some sort of talent and or some sort of gift, and then she supported me, giving me all the materials I need. And at age 6, and I started experiencing with pastels. And at age 8, I went into paints such as oils. And at the age of 9 years old, Oprah Winfrey noticed my gift and invited me on her show. And
Wow.
from that point on, I was very blessed and honored to be a part of hundreds of television shows and media across the world. And I've traveled to over 30 countries. I published 2 books and probably completed over 250 artworks. And now I am in Chicago, and I'm still painting every day. That's kind
Really.
of
And I know that you've been actually quite an early bird, haven't you? Because you're waking up like at 3 or 4 in the morning, and then you just go ahead and start painting. Is that true?
yeah. It's very hard for all of my friends or family to understand, but I'm I'm 20. I just turned 23, but I've been waking
Yeah.
up. Even when I was 7 years old, I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Really.
But now it's 3 o'clock. Used to be 2 o'clock, but it changed to three. But I love utilizing the morning routine as my source of inspiration. It's the most perfect portal. It's the most perfect inspiration time for me. It's like the world just stands still, and you could just be immersed into the world of creativity.
Yeah. And you've been painting from such a young age on, and I really love the painting Prince of Peace. which is a portrait of Jesus. So you painted two different sides, so a profile and a frontal picture of Jesus. And I just noticed that you finished another piece of Jesus, which
Yes.
took you, what, 19 years to finish. How did that
Mhm.
happen?
Yeah, it's this those three paintings were such a it's a very long story, but to summarize it, when I was around like 4 years old, 4.5, had like two very vivid dreams, and not dream visions, and one of them was a vision of my guardian angel. Another one was a vision of this particular face, and that was very contrast, beautiful, handsome face. And I didn't know what the name was. I didn't think it was Jesus. I didn't know what the title was. I just saw the face. And it took me so many years to actually to pick up a paintbrush and actually start painting that particular face. And that's when I was 8 years old.
Mm-hmm.
But it took so much out of me. I was still a child, and physically my techniques and my patience weren't as of an adult. So I took everything out of me to paint that particular painting, that Prince Peace. But there was always that the other side, that the inner self saying it's still not completely finished yet. The details are not still finished.
Mm-hmm.
And it was only recently, a year ago, which I had this complete urge to finish that face into its full detail, into its full image that I saw it as. And after 1,000 hours of a relentless battle, I finally finished it, and I released it on my birthday. And
Wow,
it was,
congratulations.
yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, no, I can imagine that it's such a big project and you've been carrying it in your heart for such a long time. And I'm just curious, out of because in this issue in the magazine, we're talking about authenticity and the importance of returning to your authenticity, because so many people kind of have lost their ways in their daily lives because of the pressure that society puts on us. And
Mm-hmm.
when I look at you, you've been so young when you were on television, and you've been making, like, if you don't mind me say so, like a lot of money on your paintings. How did fame and money never affect you, because you're still that beautiful innocent child that you were at the very beginning of this journey? So what has kept your authenticity?
This is a great question, and I think my family would probably me and my family, we kind of come from a we're very different in a way, because if we have something that is worth something, we always give half it away to other people.
Mm-hmm.
And like any kind of portion I that I receive from my work, I always give it to my favorite charities or somebody in need in schools and education. So it was my whole entire life is almost like a circle. So when I start painting, and from the the uh, the fruits of my painting, I would try to give it back to the people. It's almost like a full circle that I want to do with it's
Mm-hmm.
either money or inspiration to people, and that's kind of who I am. I love giving to everybody,
Mm-hmm.
and I think even since I was young, even though I've been on hundreds of television shows and radio, it was still, when I was young, it was really new. It was like my first time. I was still a child, but I felt like I have two worlds, and I'm balancing two worlds because I have a supportive family, and because I paint, I'm able to do that somehow. I think it's organically engraved in me because of that balance. It's almost like I'm kind of like a normal girl next door, growing up with four brothers and having a supportive family. And on the other hand, I could paint soulscapes, and I could paint paintings of 1,000 hours and meeting people, extraordinary people around the world. And I could, I have a I hope that my life's experiences could inspire people and to work hard, but be patient with your passion. Because if you derive all your energy into your passion, anything is possible. You'll feel content. You'll feel um, you'll feel honored to be part of that journey. And I think I want to almost in a way inspire people to do the same.
Right. So you would say that, well, for you, it's very clearly that your mission involves painting and the art that you're leaving behind as a legacy for other generations to come. Um, so would you say that that's your main message, that for people to kind of take on their own passion to make something, to create a positive change in the world with what they love to do?
Yes, absolutely, and that's probably has been my mission almost from day one, is to because it's very interesting. Every day I meet people, I see their passions right in their eye, but it's the social construct, the work, the school is kind of suppressing their happiness down, and I'm just hoping that through my life's experiences, I can help them just dig away that coal and make that diamond for themselves.
Yeah.
And it's either, you know, inspiration to inspiration and projecting love and unity is probably my main goal through my paintings and poetry.
Right, because you're a poet as well, and you released your book, which where you share your own poetry. Can you talk a little bit about that as well?
Yeah, absolutely. My first book, it was published when I was, I think it was 10, 11 years old. And that consisted of my art and my biography and a little bit of my poetry. And after I published my first book, I had this desire to uh, put all of my thousand pieces of poetry into one book. And it took some time, but I really wanted to show people what goes inside my thoughts and what goes inside my perception of the world and the dreams and the visions and just my philosophy of life. And that's when I decided to publish my second book of just purely philosophy and poetry at 12 years old. And right now I just turned 23 and I'm still putting together all of my other poetry, and I'm going to be putting together all my latest artwork and into the third book. So that's just another project that I'm working on
Right.
as well.
Okay. Oh, please keep us posted on that. Just another question. Like you mentioned. Well, you know that we're called Happy Conscious Living, and for us, our mission is to really help people inspire how to live their lives to their absolute happiest and fullest potential. And what would you say means happiness to you?
What is happiness to me?
Yes.
Wow, that is a great question. But it's a very, to me, if I don't wake up in the morning and paint, I feel so empty, and I feel like the art is probably 90% of my happiness.
Yeah.
It's the very fact of just creating, it's the very fact of making something out of nothing, and you feel that completion inside you, that desire inside you. That brings me joy. That brings me happiness. The fact is, and another part is having a so supportive family. It's I am so blessed to be born in this family, and the mere fact that they make me happy and make me laugh every day, and we love to talk about everything. That is also a source of my happiness to have that. But there is another part, just the mere fact of people um, in, giving people hope through my work and giving people support, and the mere fact of giving back to people and helping them is a huge part of who I am. And those are the three things that really make me wake up every day and move forward.
Oh wow. And what are your
sorry about that. My
Oh,
phone went off.
that's all right. That's all right. It happens to the best of us. Um, so when you look at your life a little bit down the line, where do you see yourself? Maybe 5 years from now.
5 years from now, I see myself continuing waking up in the morning and painting every day. I see myself hoping to build my own arts and sciences academy. This will be a place to nurture people's talents and gifts. I really hope in the future I'll be able to complete this. Also, I probably will obviously continue helping people as much as I can and just inspiring people as much as I can. Every day is new to me. Every day could bring new things, but those are my three most probably main goals in life.
Yeah, that's brilliant because I remember I actually we met in 2012 when you were visiting Amsterdam.
All
And
right.
yes, I went there with my mom. It's you probably don't remember, but that's alright. But we were there, and you were sharing in your talk about this project. So it has been on your mind for quite a long time.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
it's still on my mind. It's just we were about to open in Lithuania and in Australia, but just things didn't work out. But
right.
still it's still on my mind. So I
Yeah.
just want to complete it one day.
Yeah, exactly. It's probably just as the painting of Jesus that maybe took you 19 years to finish. But, no matter how long it takes, the seed is planted in there. And I really see you having that vision manifested in this physical form. So I really have no doubt in my mind that you will manifest that.
Oh, I'm so happy. And one day,
Yeah, brilliant, brilliant.
is to be grown like a seed.
Yeah, exactly, and just because we want to feature a couple of your paintings that I really find them fascinating. Can you talk a little bit more about? I have here the 16 Lives in the Wind.
Yes, yes. This was one of my most challenging pieces. The 16 Lives and the Jesus painting was probably the most challenging pieces I've ever done in my life.
Wow.
The mere fact is that when this particular 16 Lives in the Wind piece, the first moment that I saw this image, this face, was when I was living during my world travels, and I stopped in Australia, and it was like almost the love of painting him at first sight. It was like I knew I needed to paint this particular spirit, this free spirit, and I just didn't know that how the pieces were put together, but I just know I just needed to paint it. So after I started sketching on the canvas, the first feelings that came to mind was this freedom and a multiracial spirit. And when I started sketching out it on the canvas, and I was painting on one face, but for some reason, it's 6 months of trying to figure out the right expression was probably the most challenging battle I've ever faced, because it was if those 16 different faces, different characters were still part of the same spirit, same body, but it wasn't the one that I was looking for. So I had to paint every single one of them because they were part of the same person. And by painting every single one of them on top of one another, it was almost like it's being let out. It's being his inner emotions, his inner characters is being let out. And what I needed to do was, my responsibility as an artist was to paint and become very authentic with my work. And I was trying my best to paint all the emotions, all of the characteristics, all the spirit that I saw in this particular person. And at the end of the 16th face, I found out this was the one I was looking for. The content, the freedom of releasing all of his emotions into the wind, and it was almost liberating for this particular person. And that's
Wow.
where 16 Lives in the Wind came about.
That is brilliant. So you literally painted face over face over face.
Yes,
Oh my
yes.
goodness.
It's almost like a lot of characters in one, a lot in one being,
Yeah.
a lot of emotions in one
Yeah.
being.
But I love that this, I guess through interviews that's the only way you can express that experience, because we only get to see that painting and the finished product, but we can't see the emotions and everything that came to pass while you were painting it. And I know
Mhm.
it's not the first painting that you've done some of that. And
I'm
can
very
you
good. Yes, it's very funny. My dad used to say you would be known for what's behind the canvas than what's on top of the
right.
canvas. Because there's a lot, almost every single piece of my work has a lot of things behind it. It's a
Yeah.
mystery.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
yeah,
Wow.
a lot of emotions, a lot of hard work goes into every piece. They're like children to me.
Yeah, can
And,
imagine. Yeah.
I try to give my best at every single one of them. And yeah, 16 Lives of the Wind was definitely a
Whew.
challenge, but it was
Well, you did it, girl.
so it's so worth it. I'm so happy.
Yeah, you did it, girl. My goodness. And the other painting, the Lily of the Valley, like, what is that about?
Lilies of the Valley. Yes, this particular painting. It came to me during my world travels, and it was so peculiar because when I traveled, I had this sense that was everything was separated. The cultures, race, and beliefs, and backgrounds. Everybody was separated in their own little world, but at the same time, we were all connected somehow. If you go a few hours out by plane, we're still connected. And if you go from afar and go from a distance and try to subdue all the details, we are all part of the same organism. And this particular painting, this was my artistic interpretation of the Mother Earth. And her hair, in the painting, you would see how she has auburn red hair, and it was my interpretation of the autumn season and the fall. And every season, her hair changes colors, depicting different seasons. And that also is regarded with her beautiful, intricate attire, her dress. And if you can tell in the painting, you would see that she has a very beautiful necklace that's hanging around on top of her neck. And in the necklace, there's almost like a vase filled with lilies of the valley, flower. For me, it was my artistic interpretation to depict humanity as the lilies of the flower, the lilies of the valley, because if you probably know, it's extremely poisonous, but they were the most beautiful flowers in the world. And the Mother Earth is holding the lilies of the valley next to her, but she's guarding it as if it was her priceless treasure. And even though it's so poisonous, and you could see almost like the teary, her eyes are full of tears, and even though she's crying, even though it's painful to hold it, but she still values it as it's priceless to her. And that's kind of how I see our humanity to Mother Nature. Even though we have very complicated. We destroy a lot of Mother Nature when it comes to
Yeah.
when it comes to industry and those those details. But at the same time, we are very valued to her, but yet we're very poisonous, and it's almost like that whole entire painting was my portrayal of what I see on the earth.
Wow. So basically, this woman that you painted, it is Mother Nature, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I really love it. It's absolutely gorgeous, really. So
Thank you.
and we have a final piece that you called Patience.
Yes. Oh gosh, this is one of my my favorite, one of my favorite pieces to the fact is I fell in love with this particular story. It was, if you probably don't know, the bamboo, the actual bamboo growth is very complicated. Is at almost after many years, the bamboo will start growing from the first seedling, and after it starts sprouting, it blooms and sprouts to like very, very rapidly across the whole forest, and it's almost unstoppable. and this, and for me, as growing up, bamboo was one of my favorite ideas and my favorite depiction of the, the beauty of nature. Because you cannot, even if you plant a seed, a bamboo seed, you would not see its growth or sprout for maybe 4 years. And at that fourth year, it'll just blossom and grow to hundreds of feet high. And this particular piece, I wanted to show my appreciation for that phenomenon, that there is, in a way, we can take this as a learning experience, as maybe passion in life. Yes, we have to plant that seed first. We have to work hard on it and water on it. And maybe not after a year or two, maybe after the fourth year or the fifth year, the sprouts will start growing and the seeds will start growing into something more beautiful. We need to be patient in what we do in this life. We need to have hope for the future, and this particular painting is kind of what I want to embody, that idea. And so we can do that in our life practice. In practice.
Brilliant. And well, thank you first of all for sharing all of these beautiful experiences and the story behind each painting, because I think, you know, looking at a painting is one thing, but actually knowing where it came from the artist, that's a whole nother level of understanding a painting. And what I really like is that I've seen that you have a YouTube channel as well, and we will link your YouTube channel underneath this video so people can check out your tutorials, because I really like that you're actually sharing how you're actually creating, how and can you talk a little bit, like, how do you start a painting? Like, where you know, because I've seen in the tutorials that you actually memorize different features from people, or specific topics. So how does that creation process start for you?
You know, when it comes to faces, from day one, I always say to people that my number one subject is faces. It's my love for faces. Every person is different. Every glance is different. Every wrinkle is different. But what I noticed is it's almost like every person I meet on the street, I kind of get absorbed into this mental library. And when it comes to painting a specific piece, I kind of take little pieces from that library and project it onto the canvas. And what I really liked about painting people is that you can see the raw emotion, the raw struggles, the passion, the hope, the lost hope. You could see everything in the eyes and the expression. And when we relate something to a face, we can change ourselves. And I think, yes, I can paint landscapes, I can paint animals and very visionary pieces, but there's something about humans that we connect when we see another expression that's similar to ours, what we feel. Maybe someone is suffering from hopelessness, but when they see someone who's hopeful, then they'll start changing themselves, become hopeful and inspiring to live another day. So in my work, I want to create that positive, hopeful outcome so people could look up to and strive to become better in themselves and to other people. So that's why I do these videos, to showcase the painting process and showcase what happens from the very beginning to the end and what goes on in my head while I portray those pieces.
Ah, brilliant. No, I think you're doing a really excellent job, and please keep doing what you're doing because you're such an inspiration to a lot of people out there, and I think a lot of people are looking up to you. How do you cope with that? Like, do you feel any pressure? Like, oh, now people are expecting I have to do something like create another masterpiece, or well, how do you stay really authentic to your art?
It's very interesting because even when I was younger, I did feel that I need to try to make everybody content. I did feel a little bit of that responsibility, and I still do. But right now, I'm in that position, in that state in my life where if you are happy, then that's really all that matters. Because if you express everything you can 100%, you can't please everyone. You can't please the world. But if you please one or two people, that's all you really need. If you give hope to one or two people, that's all you need. And that's kind of what I am in this stage right now, where I'll give it my best shot. I'll give it 1,000% all I can, and whatever happens will be meant to be. And I think I'm going to continue, living up to that life, to give it your best shot as much as you can.
Well, thank you so much, Akiane, for this interview, and I really really value your work so greatly. And I'm looking forward for the next pieces that you will be creating. Um, if you had the attention of the entire world right now in the second, what message would you like to give to the people?
Oh my goodness, that's a good question. To me as an artist, I've noticed that the arts has the ability to unite people. And if every single one of us dedicate ourselves to our true happiness and our true passion, then I believe that one day the world would be united. And the first step is to be happy. The first step is to find your love, your passion in life, whether it is cooking or painting or sculpting. You have to take that first step because, man, oh man, it is worthwhile in the end. So just love and unite people and just be passionate about what you do in
life. Yeah, thank you so much. And thank you everyone for watching this video. We are so super excited that you've been with us in this interview. And please check out Akiane's YouTube channel. We'll link her channel underneath this video. And please visit her website, www.akiane.com. And thank you very much, Akiane. That was really brilliant.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Alright you guys, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like, share and subscribe. And for those of you that don't know, we have a free monthly inspirational magazine called Happy Conscious Living. I'll put the link in the description box below this video. And really what this magazine is about, it's a positivity lifestyle magazine. So it's really meant to be a source of inspiration to really live your life to your absolute happiest and fullest potential. So in the meanwhile, I wish you a very beautiful and inspiring day, and remember, be the light you wish to see in the world.